isn't one thing with Grand Theft Auto 6, it is another. If you saw my video yesterday, it's about how for some reason people are calling for it to be banned because it has ties to the Israel-Hamas conflict. Spoiler alert, it absolutely does not. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. But now we've got the Mary Sue weighing in on GTA 6 as well from a completely different standpoint. They're very, very upset that certain gamers are worried that GTA 6 has a trans main character. And to be fair, there are some idiots on Twitter who do think this and who are upset about it, and frankly, if it was true, I could get the idea of being upset about it due to the forced diversity, but the problem is, it's not true, and the vast majority of gamers don't think it's true. But it didn't stop the Mary Sue from writing a garbage article about how badly they want it to be true, and try and make fun of the gamer chuds as if all of us are the exact same, and it's not a small minority of individuals throwing a fit over nothing. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and let's get into this. We're going to talk about this garbage Mary Sue article, which actually, for once, does have some decent points in it, all ruined by their perspective near the end and their very, non-integrity-filled way of doing journalism. But before we get into the article, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and we're almost there. We have got like 65 or something to go, and of course, you know that I'm going to bring you all the nerdy news in the most objective way I can that keeps politics of both sides out of this culture going forward. Nerd culture needs politics free. My channel's going to help you with that. Hit the subscribe button, and let's get into LOL. Gamers are nervous GTA 6 female protagonist is trans. Now, first of all, again, she's not. At least there's no evidence to suggest she is. If that information comes out later, we'll cover that when need be, and we'll have some opinions on it based on the information that's available. But as it currently stands, she ain't trans. And when you look at this, look, I very, very rarely in real life, well, first of all, I very rarely in real life see trans people because the vast majority of them only exist on X, but the ones I do see in real life almost never pass like this individual here. It's safe to say it's just a regular woman. You would think the Mary Sue would find a way to be upset that people are throwing a fit that there's a gamer female character. Like, I've actually seen some people on X rather upset that the main character is a female, which I think is ridiculous and goes to show the absurdity of the right side of the culture war at times as well. Because as much as they want to claim, hey, we want strong female characters as long as they aren't Mary Sue's, no pun intended, then they're cool with it. But then you do have those individuals that make the rest of us look bad when they cry over the fact that the game is going woke just by having a main woman in it. But that's not what the Mary Sue focuses on, of course not. So we're going to get into this. The official Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer has only been out for a few hours, and the internet's greatest gaming minds are already asking the most important question: is there a trans person in GTA 6? That's right, a bunch of gamers are worried that Rockstar Games made its first 3D female player character transgender. In case it isn't painfully obvious, the question isn't being asked in good faith. Actually, to be fair, I would say it's being asked in good faith. They are genuinely concerned that it could be a trans character. There's just no evidence to back it up. So the question is in good faith. You just don't like the fact that it's being asked. But again, I actually, unfortunately, do have to agree with the Mary Sue on at least certain parts of this article. If you guys all just thought that there's no way, Leon, he's obviously conservative, he's obviously right-wing. I've told you guys from the get-go, I'm very down the middle. Honestly, yeah, I do agree with the right more than the left 9 times out of 10, or at least I'd say 7.5 times out of 10. I think that there's a point where we've got to say, hey, our side takes things too far, and when you see people throwing a fit over a no evidence nothing burger like this, yeah, I think Mary Sue is actually justified, at least in the idea behind this article, but the idea is not how it's executed. A random tweet took the gaming world by storm this week, kicking up a panic over GTA going woke. Media Matters, who they are treating as if that is some sort of outlet that should be trusted when they are right now being sued by X and Elon Musk for their blatant misuse and outright lies about the platform as well as multiple other things. Media Matters ain't exactly the credible source you think it is, but the Mary Sue doesn't care about that because Media Matters does agree with them ideologically, and that's all that matters to the Mary Sue. The conundrum succinctly is a now viral tweet saying they're transvestigating GTA 6 characters now. And to be fair, as you should. Look, if you're going to put a trans character in the game, most people don't actually care. As much as you want to think these right-wing chuds hate it, no one cared about the transgender character in Hogwarts Legacy, for example. It's when you force it down the throat in a political way that makes people think that where you call them, oh, they're bigots, oh, they're transphobes, oh, if you don't accept this, you're part of the problem. That's when people have issues. If they were to put a trans character in GTA 6, and I guarantee you there probably are trans characters in GTA 6 if we're being being 100% honest, considering how GTA has always taken the worst parts of humanity and played them up to an exaggerated yet hilarious degree. It's definitely going to play into some of this culture war shenanigans that we're seeing. The trailer alone has given us that proof, so I can almost guarantee you there's going to be, transgender characters. But that's not what matters. Where I'm getting at, when you say they transvestigate GTA characters now, yeah, people should. When you're in this position where you've been told time and time again, you must accept this. You must be A-okay with this, or you're a bigot, or you're the scum of the earth, you're a racist, you're everything. People are gonna be on edge. Now, should they be? Nah, they should still retain their critical thinking. But acknowledging the reality that, yeah, people are going to be on edge, there is room for both sides of the argument. So how did this come to be? It all goes back to a very strange and bizarre rumor shared by YouTuber Keemstar's Drama Alert, and how a lie travels across the internet faster than the truth could ever muster, which is incredible considering this outlet blatantly lies all the time, and they are almost never called out on it, except for individuals like us, who they just assume we're going at this in bad faith. When you've got individuals who are fighting this culture war, and who want politics out of nerd culture, calling out individuals like the Mary Sue that increasingly divide fan bases by shoving unwarranted politics into the nerd culture, and they had the gall to talk about how lies travel faster than truth across the internet. So why do all these gamers think GTA 6's protagonist is transgender? The great GTA 6 transvestigation began after the first official GTA 6 trailer dropped on December 4th. Drama Alert tweeted that Lucia, the first 3D GTA female player character, was rumored to be transgender, and the author behind the account would presumably hook up with her. The Drama Alert Twitter page cited an r/Grand Theft Auto 5 Reddit post for the claim titled, "Grand Theft Auto 6 first ever female protagonist is trans woman," and I mean, again, it's Reddit. Does anyone care? Does anyone actually use Reddit for anything other than mindless entertainment? There are people that take Reddit super seriously, and I assume it's just because they don't have the financial income to be able to take care of cats. Like, there's a very select individuals that take Reddit seriously, and they're more frightening than the people that take YouTube or X seriously. Reddit is like, it's the 4chan for the left, if I had to give it, some sort of moniker. Except for, unlike 4chan, there's no real humor on Reddit. It's just things that people think are funny, the acceptable things to laugh at. For the record, there is no proof that Reddit's post that the GTA 6's Lucia is trans. In July 2022, a Redditor said that rumors are circulating that Rockstar made the female protagonist a trans woman, asking if players would still buy the game if the claim were true. The poster provided no proof, nor do they show any evidence that the rumors were even circulating. In short, Drama Alert's tweet is based on a nothing burger of a post. Full stop. If you were to stop right here, I would agree completely. This is actually a perfect journalistic sentence for the Mary Sue. Not just for the Mary Sue, in general. If I could get journalism like this from your outlet more often, maybe, just maybe, I could actually take you seriously. And that is a big maybe, considering the past X amount of years that we've all been reading your articles and rolling our eyes. Even a lot of hardcore feminists think that the Mary Sue is far too much. But I want to isolate this paragraph. Yeah, it's accurate. For the record, there is no proof to the Reddit post that GTA 6's Lucia is trans. There's no proof. It's a bunch of people throwing a fit. Not even a bunch of people. It's a small minority of individuals on X throwing a fit about what is likely nothing. And that really should be the end of it. But they have to keep going. They have to keep mustering up more to report on, because they can't do their feminist, their ultra-feminist due diligence if they don't talk about how amazing it would be if that was the case. And that's what you get when you go through here. Luckily, most Twitter users are ripping on Drama Alert for the claim, especially given that it has no evidence. We even had, community notes here go to bat for this. People want to claim community notes as ultra right-wing, ultra conservative. Well, community notes is right here to debunk this dumb anti-trans sort of rhetoric that's being thrown towards this game. And if there's going to be anti-trans rhetoric, hey, I'm pro free speech. I'm all for it. Give me all the anti-trans rhetoric you want, but do it in a way that's accurate to the situation. If you want to throw shade at Dylan Mulvaney, man, I'm there, I'm gonna laugh, and I'm probably gonna agree, but this ain't it, my man. To be clear, it would be super cool if Lucia were a trans woman, and there it is. Here's the sentence. Here's the whole reason this article was written, so that they could write this particular sentence, so that you could read this particular sentence, so they can start pushing the narrative, so they can no longer start reporting the facts, but start pushing their narrative. To be clear, it would be super cool if Lucia were a trans woman. Why? Why does that matter? What does the character being trans or not being trans actually matter to their character? There once was a time where we looked at characters about who they were as people, their morals, their souls, what we can identify with on a non-immutable characteristic level. I do not need to know whether a character is gay, straight, male, female, trans, whatever, to be able to identify with them. I want to identify with who they are as people and the choices they have made on a more spiritual or moral level. I do not care if Lucia chopped her dick off or whether or not that she's actually, used to be a dude. Can I relate to the story? Is there something in their backstory that anyone, or at least most people playing the game, is going to find something to tug on their heartstrings about? Because let's be real, most people aren't going to identify with a trans character if the whole story is about them being trans. When trans people are 0.2% of the 0.2% of the population, or something to that effect, that immediately limits your storytelling market for how it can be relatable. So how do you make a character relatable? Give them some sort of family drama, give them some sort of moral or ethical dilemma that they need to sort out. Do something that has nothing to do with them being trans. As a trans woman who's very excited for GTA 6. You mean as a dude who's cosplaying as a woman? I would love to see myself represented front and center in one of the biggest games of our generation. And there you got your problem. Here's your propaganda, and here's where your mind needs realigned. You should already be represented in this character. You shouldn't need the character to be trans for you to feel represented, because if the character represents you on that moral, on that spiritual, on that emotional level, that should be good enough. But you are so narcissistic, so selfish, that you have to see the basic physical stuff represented as well. I don't look anything like Princess Leia, and last I got in the shower and checked, I also don't have the same anatomy as Princess Leia. But do I relate to Princess Leia because she is a strong, capable individual who has a plan, wants to stick to that plan, and wants to see good in the world done? Absolutely, I identify with all those same characteristics. I want to see that level of those characteristics in myself, and I hope that I can be like that, be like the type of person that Princess Leia is. I can also find characters or qualities in Luke Skywalker that I would like to have in myself as well. Luke Skywalker is a very handsome male. I'm a very average male at best. Let's be real. Just because Luke Skywalker's a good-looking dude doesn't mean I can't find some things to identify with. Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu. Frankly, actually one of my least favorite Star Wars characters of all time, but not because he's black. I just don't relate to him because when you look at the EU, Mace Windu's kind of a douche, but that doesn't mean there aren't aspects of his character that are relatable. After all, I'm a bit of a douche. I can relate to Mace Windu on that level. You don't need to have the same skin color. You don't need to have the same gender. You don't need any of that to relate to these characters. But again, your narcissism does not allow you to have that train of thought. This article is so dumb because it perfectly showcases both sides of the problem. Both sides, the individuals on what I like to call my side of things, the side that I do align with the most, that will jump to the conclusion that absolutely anything and everything is woke with zero context. Now, do the majority of us do this? I would like to say no, but after getting my responses to the Furiosa trailer, I'm actually starting to worry. But yes, there is a subset of individuals that look for woke in everything, and then they throw a fit about it. However, the Mary Sue had a chance here. They had a chance to write an article that didn't have any pandering, that didn't have any propaganda, and just say, look at these idiots freaking out about something that there's no proof of, and leave it there. But you didn't. You took it a step further and you inserted your political propaganda and your worldview that is a very reductive worldview that the vast majority of people don't agree with, to try and make it mainstream, to try and make it normal, and try and pretend that it is a mainstream idea that individuals cling to and that they love, when if that was the case, you wouldn't see Bud Light in flames, you wouldn't see Target in flames, you wouldn't see everything happening in America, and frankly worldwide right now, happening all because they try to force so much of this faux diversity and this faux pro-LGBT nonsense, especially once it started getting pushed on kids. If you left kids out of it, you probably would have a lot less of an issue. I mean, you would still have issues, but you know what? This game isn't for kids, so if you want to be a tranny and play this game, go for it. Cosplay as a woman and play this game, but if you are so superficially selfish and narcissistic that you need the character to actually be trans to enjoy it, then you are also part of the problem. Both sides are part of the problem, and that's why we need to get both sides out of nerd culture. Kick the woke left out, get these right-wing chuds who need everything to be super straight and American also out of here, and just enjoy good stories for what they are. That's why you should subscribe to Words of Paradise, because we're trying to keep pop culture free of politics. Those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 2,004 at the end of the year, and we've got like 64 more to go or something to that effect. And also find me on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, because remember, it's all here in the nerdosphere. And this has been Words of Paradise.